Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is currently 10:27 at night. But as you all know, since my videos are so low quality, I have to pump out hundreds of videos a month to make the same as bigger YouTubers. Well, guess what, buckos? You think that bothers me? No. Anyway, welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. My name is Christopher Belly. I'm a certified CPA accountant. I'm a long-term Boglehead investor. I'm author of the book Stop Being a Broke Loser. It's on Amazon. And we're going to talk about how Ford My Ord is going to slay Tesla My Esla. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and look at the Ford Lightning, which is the new electric pickup truck coming out from Ford. And keep in mind, the F-150 is the best-selling truck in the United States. And it's a nice freaking truck. And now they have an electric version. But I thought Tesla was the only company that made electric vehicles. You don't understand the future growth, strong man. And also Tesla's cutting jobs because they're losers. So let's go ahead and check out the Ford Lightning. And then we're going to do a stock valuation for Ford. Okay. So here's the Ford Lightning. Okay, there's this chick on her bike. Is that gas powered, young lady? That is bad for the environment. Am I sharing my screen? Okay, that's really bad. And she's got her little Ford Lightning, and here's her boyfriend over here, or whatever, maybe her brother. And she's got a little cooler, looks like a Yeti, and there's no engine in there because it's a freaking it's an electric vehicle. So it's pretty cool. I mean, you can actually use it. You can plug it into your house, and it can, keep your house lit for 3 days. So you look at the range, 320 miles, 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. I don't know why people care about that. Okay, people, like, when they buy these electric cars, they compare the 0 to 60 speed. It's like, are you going to be drag racing? No, you're going to be driving around town. Who freaking cares? Targeted maximum payload, 2,000 pounds. And targeted available maximum towing, 10,000 pounds. So it basically provides the same thing as a regular Ford that's gas powered. Now let's watch this nifty video real quick. Watch this demonetize me. Oh, okay. He plugged it in. It's electric. There's his girlfriend. Wow. I'm so glad I married you. You're so rich. Yeah, like the truck can run a house for 3 days. So as we can see, Tesla is facing a tidal wave of competition right as we go into a recession. And they're competing against a bunch of very established automakers who also have cars that people can't afford. I can't wait for Tesla's destruction. Oh, baby. So let's go look at Ford stock. Now, the first thing I want you to look at is the market capitalization of Ford. Ford's market cap is $53 billion today, currently, as we speak. Tesla's market cap is like what? $700 billion. Ford, okay, so that's what? I'm pretty dumb with math. So 700 divided by 53. So basically, Tesla is valued at 13 times as much as Ford My Ord. Now, all you Tesla fanboys, what you like to point out is that, number one, Ford has slowing revenue growth, which is true. Look at that. They had, okay, we go back to 2018. They had $160 billion of revenue. In 2019, they had $155 billion. And then in 2020, during the recession, they had $127 billion. And most recently, they've had $136 billion in 2021. Let's see what the quarterly growth is year over year. Hello? Okay. So, yeah, it looks like year over year, they even had slowing growth from March of 2021, whatever. So when you're doing a valuation for Ford, it's really hard. To be conservative, you might just want to have Ford actually have declining or flat revenues going perpetually into the future because it's a very established automaker. Now, we go down and look at Ford's gross profit. This isn't good. So in 2021, they had a gross profit of 12%. Oh, that's great. Look at the past: 4%, 7%, 9%, 10%, 11%. Their gross profit is hot freaking trash. Look at their operating margin: 3%, negative 3%, 0.3, 2, 3. And then their actual bottom line profit margin after interest and taxes: 13%, negative 1, 0.03, 2.29, 4.93. Okay. Now, their free cash flow margin really isn't that much better. And if you think about their free cash flow, so they're making all these massive investments into electrifying their fleet because they think they have to compete with Tesla. It's like, no, they're a luxury automaker. Who freaking cares? Bunch of clowns. Their free cash flow margin is freaking low. So there's honestly, like when you look at Ford stock, it ain't that great. But Tesla stock ain't much better. They're way more profitable, but that's because they only make luxury autos. Remember, Ford has a massive lineup of cars. Some of their cars are high margin, like the Ford F-150, the Lightning. I'm sure that's going to be high margin. Ford's probably making a ton of money on those types of vehicles. But when it comes to like the Ford Fiesta, I'm pretty sure they're losing money every time they make one of those. That's why you see when a established automaker becomes established, their gross margin shrinks massively. Now, I don't know what the effect of electrification is going to have on, gross margins. We'll have to see when Tesla fully matures or whatever. But at the end of the day, Tesla's gross margins are going to massively shrink. I mean, look at these 11, 11, 10. Like, that's hot freaking trash. Okay. So while I do think Ford stock is a better buy just on the surface, I mean, compare that to it's still probably not a great stock. Now, another thing is we're going to look at their balance sheet, my balance sheet. Okay. They got $82 billion of cash and short term investments, and they have 90,000 of current liabilities. So they actually have, well, I mean, if you count all the current assets, they have a current ratio over one. But when you look at inventory and receivables, I mean, it depends. When you look at the current assets of a balance sheet, you have to tell yourself how liquid are these assets. Cash is very liquid. It's cash. Short-term investments are very liquid. It's short-term debt securities. I could sell those the next day. Receivables, I would say they're pretty liquid. Inventory, maybe not so much, especially during a recession. So when you're looking at a company's liquidity, you need to look in more detail than just say, oh, well, the current assets are this and the current liabilities are this. Because you pay your current debts that are due within a year with your current assets. You need current assets to pay your debts, or you go bankrupt, or you have to borrow even more freaking money. So I don't think Ford's going to go out of business anytime soon. People are like, oh, Ford's about to die. Da, 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 da. I mean, they're still generating $136 billion of revenue. The idea that they're all going to die is just stupid. It's just ridiculous. Tesla's going to be the only car company. Now let's look at their long-term assets. So they have long-term investments. That's actually a lot. I wonder what that is. Because their property, plant, equipment, that's like their factories and stuff like that. That's $37 billion. Long-term investments, $82 billion. I wonder if they've acquired a bunch of other companies and other long-term assets. Now, one thing that people don't like about Ford is that they have a lot of freaking debt, which is true. Let's go look at their debt ratios. Now, we have debt to free cash flow. So in 2021, based on their free cash flow, it would take them 34 years to pay off their debt. That's pretty significant debt. 14, 8, 15, 21, 13. It's a very debt heavy company. And as interest rates rise, that may potentially hurt them. I don't know. I still don't think they're going to go out of business, but that is a massive debt load, which what I think will be shrinking free cash flows going into the future. That's going to cause an issue. Okay. They pay a dividend. That's great. Let's see. Looks like their share issuance is flat. I mean, at the end of the day, there's nothing that's really impressive about this company. It's definitely peaked out. You look at the PE ratio, it's 4. I mean, that tells you right off the bat, this is a very slow growth company, or people are not very, don't have high prospects about its future. Price to sales, 0.4. Oh, but Tesla's price to sales is going to be 13 forever. Yeah, let's see when it matures, ladies and gentlemen. Price to books, okay, that's okay. Price to free cash flow. See, these metrics are really cheap, but just because the company's cheap doesn't mean it's good. They have a massive debt load. Their freaking gross margin is trash, like complete and utter trash. I'm sure that's a common thing across the industry. And both their profit margin and free cash flow margin are hot garbage. So we can try to do a quick valuation and, just get a rough idea of what we could potentially pay for Ford Mayor. So let's do, what do you do? Annual. Let's see. Okay, so their trailing 12-month revenue is $134 billion dollars. So we go to our trusty dusty tool, okay, times 10 times 10 to the 6th power. See, I don't have a fancy tool like Everything Money, so I actually have to do all this manually. Shares outstanding. How many shares do they have? Okay. We'll use we'll dilute it and basic are the same. So they have 4 billion shares outstanding. So we do 4,008 times 10 to the 6th power. Okay. Now, you found a typo. Shut up. Now, discount rate. What rate of return do you want? If you buy the stock now, what rate of return do you want? I want a 15% return. So we're going to leave that at 15. Revenue growth. So they've recently had declining revenue. We'll keep it at 0 just to see how that works out. Profit margin. Let's go look at their historical profit margins again. Okay, this is on a GAAP basis of accounting. Profit margin. Well, this is quarterly. Let's look at annual. A little bit better to look at annual. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you get like fluctuations in the seasons. So, profit margin. Okay, 13. I'm not freaking using that. -1, 0.03, 2, 4, 3, and 4. You know, we'll be nice to Ford by Ord, and we'll say they have a 4% profit margin. Okay. Now, price to free cash or a free cash flow margin 7, 14, 6, 4, 7. I'm going to say just because they're going to be making investments from what I hear into capital assets, to electrify their fleet. I have a feeling their free cash flow is going to be lower, especially when you think we're going into a recession. So I'm going to say their free cash flow margin is going to be, we'll call it 4%. We'll call it 5%. Okay. PE ratio. They currently have a PE ratio of what, 5? I mean, this is not a high growth company. Now, the market ultimately determines what the PE ratio is. But at the end of the day, you want to be conservative. I mean, look at their historical PE ratio going back to 2015 7, 10, 6, 8, 4. So, I mean, to be conservative, I would maybe do a PE of 5 for each one. And we'll say that, are they really issuing shares? I don't think they're issuing shares. Let's see. Okay, so but yeah, basically the shares are flat, so we'll put 0. So according to this model, this very simple model, if you want to get a 15% rate of return, you want to buy Ford at $7.84 for based on GAAP earnings, or $9.80 based on free cash flow. And this is assuming their revenue stays flat and they can generate a 4% profit margin. And I mean, maybe, but if they have tough times, which they may, there's going to be trouble. I mean, if they have like a negative 3% growth rate and their profit margins too, I mean, this stock could freaking plunge. So there's a lot of risks inherent in this company. So personally, do I think it's a better buy than Tesla? Abso-freaking-lutely, 100%. Because even if you bought it now, what is the price right now? 13.50. So it's roughly 100% overvalued based on my 15% return. That's still better than Tesla, which is like 20,000% overvalued. So, so am I buying Ford right now? No. Now, if Ford dropped to like $7 or $6, which if we get into a recession and stocks really sell off, it's possible I may reconsider. Maybe I'll come back and look, and maybe they'll be posting a little bit better numbers. But until the stock drops pretty massively, I'm not freaking touching it. And I'm sure there are multiple opportunities to buy Ford by Ord. Back in the day, let's see. This stock has dropped massively before. Yeah, look at that, man. March of 2020, it was $4. I should have scooped that up, man. Go back even more. Go back to the Great Recession. It was down to $1.80. Oh my God. And then look at that run up. Oh boy. So I'm sure there's going to be an opportunity again to scoop up Ford, and I'll definitely do it. But right now, I'm not freaking touching it. So, all right, let's do some comments, and then Strong Daddy's going to bed. He's effing back. You had me rolling with the Graham to Solid Nate comment. But Tesla's the future, bro. Elon is our Lord and Savior. That's why they're cutting 10% of their staff, even though they're a high growth company. And they're going to take over the world and you got to cut your staff. Okay. She's killing the earth. What a biatch. I know, man. These women just killing the earth. Why don't you like unions? Ford is a legend because of their unions. We need more unions. Well, unions they raise costs. That's why Ford probably isn't as freaking profitable because they have to pay union workers higher wages than they actually deserve, based on a free market. And union workers are just not as productive because oh, well, my union contract says I can't do this, so I'm not going to do that. And I need a smoke break every 5 minutes. I don't like it. I'll just let the free market decide. But, love me or hate me, that's what I think. Yeah, I prefer Toyota and Honda. Ford doesn't make reliable cars. I mean, I have actually, we have two Fords. We have a Ford Focus. We have a Ford Fiesta. They're both fine. And then we have a Chrysler Pacifica. So I don't mind the cars, but yeah, I used to have a Toyota Corolla. I freaking love that car, but then it died. They will have to figure out how to make them. They are way behind, though. Not a Tesla fan, but we saw what happened with the Mach-E recall. Okay, I mean, that's growing pains for every company, but guys, come on. I mean, really? Look at all the Tesla factories are all making Model Ys, the more expensive car. This is not a mass market car. Tesla's not a mass market company. If the Ford Lightning is anything like the Mach-E, they will scale that bad boy to 3,000 vehicles per month after 2 years. Maybe they will. But at the end of the day, I mean, would you rather buy Ford right now, which is 100% overvalued based on a 15% return in my assumptions, or would you rather buy La Tesla, which is trading at $700 billion and they make luxury cars? I don't know. For me, it's an easy choice. If I had to pick one, it would be Ford. Ford has a bigger debt than its entire market cap. What price to debt ratio? They are in a lot of debt. It's pretty bad. Sometimes I look at Ford's margins, think they will only make money on their trucks. They do. That's why they have such crappy margins. But that's the price of becoming a mass market company. Your margins shrink. GM dropped their price on their EV starting at 26 new. Ooh, F Ford. Jeez. If a recession does happen, Ford, GM, and Nissan are going to go big. Man, Joe Biden's all buddy with the Ford, all the Ford and all the GM. He's not going to let them go out of business. It's like with the Great Recession, all the automakers got bailed out. I think Ford did not take a bailout, but all the other ones did. They're not going to let Ford go. He loves Ford. Listen to President Biden. He freaking loves it. He hates Tesla. I was an investor at one point. I have no position now. I think they've done some good, but not enough to outweigh the bad. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you're talking about Ford or La Tesla. When you realize in 5 to 6 years, more than 50% of people will want an EV, you realize car companies are okay. You can want an EV, but if it's $62,000, you're not going to buy it. You're going to buy an internal combustion engine car. That's just how it is. If gas prices go down again, yeah, I'm definitely sticking with gas. Remember gas was like $1.30 or something not too long ago. Now it's like $4.40. It's freaking nuts. But yeah, when gas will go down, I got my Ford Fiesta, whatever. Oh my God, this stupid camera. Well, I guess that's my trigger to end the video. I have to get a new camera. I'm ordering it tonight. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you later. Cheers.